Good morning. It is 9:31 now. I'll call the meeting to order. Members of the public have been invited to participate in the meeting of council by attending in person at the council chambers at the municipal office located at 10227 Ilderton Road in Coldstream, or by contacting the municipal clerk to receive a registration link to join the meeting electronically. Members of the public may also access the meeting live stream on the Middlesex Centre YouTube channel. And I'm just going to note that Councillor Coles will be attending virtually. Before we begin, I just have a couple of comments, remarks. Ilderton 150 celebration is just around the corner, and this is an extraordinary milestone in our community's history. We'll be honoring 150 years of growth, resilience, and community spirit. A three-day celebration will take place on July 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Ilderton Fairgrounds, and admission is completely free. The many incredible events offered to celebrate our shared heritage will be creating new memories for future generations. I want to thank all of the volunteers who are making this event possible for all of us to enjoy. If you're interested for more detail, please check out the Ilderton 150 page for details. Oh, the 150 page on Facebook for all of the details, and I'll hope to see you all there. The land acknowledgement is next. The municipality of Middlesex Centre recognizes that we're gathering on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Lenni Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the enduring presence of First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people on this land and are committed to moving forward in a spirit of reconciliation and respect. Our neighboring First Nations communities, which continue to live as sovereign nations, include the Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and Munsee Delaware Nation. We don't have any additions for the agenda for today's meeting. I'm going to look to members of council. Does anyone wish to disclose a pecuniary interest? I don't see any. Councillor Coles is good. Thank you. The next item is the adoption of minutes, and the motion before us is that the minutes of the Middlesex Centre Council meeting held on June 17th, 2026 be approved as presented. I have Councillor Shipley and Councillor Arts. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Consent agenda are items that are received as one motion. So I'll look to council. Is there anything here that people would like to speak to? I see Councillor Cates. When you're ready, Councillor.
Yeah. Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, I just wanted to acknowledge the GOFA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award again for the 5th year in a row, and congratulations to staff and all of their hard work on this. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. That is a great accomplishment by our staff, and I think it really has added value to our knowledge of what's going on too. So I'll echo your sentiment. Is there anything else? Yes, go ahead, Councillor Arts.
Madam Mayor, my question is to Rob about the government drain number 2. Are they going to clean out the ditch too? Because from the road, it looks like it's all overgrown. So a municipal drain going into a ditch that's all full of brush, it's not going to be good.
To the Mayor, to Councillor Arts. So I think we're looking at the petition. Is that correct? Yeah, so that's something, it's just a petition. So when they get out there and they review it on the field, I would imagine that that's when the appropriate time that the drainage engineer will make that determination whether it's required or not. But I would tend to agree with you that if it's not going to function because of the ditch, that it would likely be included as part of the work.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I don't see any hands, so we do have a motion before us that all the items listed under the heading of consent agenda for July 2nd, 2026 be adopted as recommended. I have Councillor Burrs and Councillor Cates. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, moving on to staff reports. The first item up is the animal control bylaw. And Arnie, when you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Through the Mayor to Council, staff are presenting an updated animal control bylaw for Council's consideration. The 2012 bylaw was reviewed by staff and the county solicitor. We've found a number of more efficiencies we can create with the bylaw, bringing it more into compliance with current practices and references, as well as some more effective tools for staff to use. Some of these tools include increased set fines for dogs biting people. Currently, we don't have a fine if a dog bites somebody. There's a process we had to go through the courts. It would be much easier if staff can simply write a ticket in some situations. That would be most effective. There's also some appeal rights that we've brought in for individuals who's had their dogs identified and designated as a dangerous dog, that they have the right to appeal that. So we've brought that into the bylaw. So we've reviewed the bylaw with the county solicitor and present this to council for approval.
Okay, thank you for the report. I'll look to council for questions. And I have Councillor Burrs is first.
Through you, Your Worship, to Arnie. So I was going to ask about the appeal rights. So if I get fined for something, I don't have a right to appeal. I'd have to take that to court then, other than what you had said previously. If their dog is designated or whatever, they could appeal to who? Council?
Yes, through the mayor. The appeal is specifically for dogs that are designated as dangerous. If the owner doesn't believe that their dog should be designated as dangerous, they can appeal that to council, and that process is outlined in the bylaw. If you get a fine, whether it's a dog at large or biting, currently you would appeal that to the courts like any other ticket we'd write until we bring an AMPS bylaw to council, and then that will bring its own appeal process.
Thank you.
And Councillor Cates.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, to Arnie. I have, I think four points to ask you about. I agree with what you've written. I just wanted to ask some clarification. So number one, it says impounded for a minimum of 3 days. Is that more like the dangerous dog situation? Or let's say my dog got off the property and was running around. Is it gone for 3 days now?
Through the mayor, potentially, or you would pay an impounding fee equivalent to 3 days because of the cost for the animal control to make that call out and back and to house the dog.
Okay, thank you. And then some of the things I've written here, is it weekends too? Like, is the pound open on the weekends?
Good question. Through the mayor, the pound is open on Saturdays.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I believe that's.
I just wondered if it counted as one of the days too.
Yeah, good question.
Okay, that's fine. My other thing, 9.4, it talked about female, like unspayed dogs and cats, which I guess is in heat. And I'm wondering about, there's no mention of male cats. So let's say I have a female cat, unspayed, it's in heat inside my house, because I've seen this before, where a male cat will come and they like spray on your windows and stuff. So I'm just wondering if there was any thought or reason why male cats that are not spayed aren't mentioned in here.
Through the mayor, great question, Councillor Cates. Traditionally, this is how it's been handled. If that male cat is found at large, we do have fines for that male cat to be found at large, but I think the females attract the males.
Yeah, well, that's a good point that there's still the fine system. Okay, thank you. And then about the pit bull, are they, because I know there's been a controversy probably North America wide about pit bulls. If you have a pit bull, is it automatically deemed a dangerous dog because it's a pit bull?
Yes, through the mayor, the Dog Owners Liability Act prohibits the ownership of pit bulls across Ontario.
So it still does. Okay.
It does. And if that ever changes, then our bylaw would come into place that we would automatically consider them as vicious dogs and dangerous dogs. But up till then, you're not permitted to own a pit bull in Ontario.
Oh, good to know. Thank you very much.
And Councillor Shipley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through the mayor. Arnie, what is the designation of a dangerous dog? Like, any dog could be turned dangerous and bite somebody. Does that make them a dangerous dog at that point? Or what is the definition? Or is it certain breeds?
Yeah, through the mayor, it's a great question. It depends on the situation, and it's a tool that staff can use when there is a dog bite or a dog attack. An evaluation both by our animal control officer and our bylaw enforcement officer. A random dog bite does not necessarily mean it's a vicious dog, but in some situations, if it's our opinion that the dog has a propensity to attack or bite, then we can deem it as vicious. If we deem it as vicious, then there's requirements in the bylaw for fencing, muzzling in public, signage on a property that would come into place. But it's really at staff's discretion if that dog should be deemed vicious based on the situation.
Okay. Okay, I have Councillor Coles on virtual.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to Arnie. So I want to say thank you for contributing to the development and changes to the animal control bylaw. I think it's rather unfortunate that serious incidents had to occur to become this catalyst for change, but I'm really appreciative of that and the work that went into it. Our residents really appreciate the changes and will benefit from this. So I do have one question though, and Arnie, I want to know if the bylaw does go far enough. What's stopping dangerous dog owners from having another dangerous dog after another dangerous dog? Can we do anything about that?
Yes, through the mayor, to Councillor Coles, staff have reviewed this, and there are provisions in the Dog Owners Liability Act that we can make an application to the courts regarding dog ownership following an incident where we found a dog owner has been poor with their training and treatment of dogs, and that their dogs are continuously vicious or not taken care of. We can make an application through the courts to have the dog owner prohibited from keeping dogs. There is a process we can do, but technically not in the bylaw.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's everyone then. In that case, we do have a recommendation before us, and that is that report BLD 03/2026 regarding animal control bylaw be received for information, and further that a new animal control bylaw 2026 number 044 be passed. If I give a mover, please, seconder. Councillor Cates and Councillor Shipley, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, we can now move on to item 8.2, which is ICI recycling transition and the 2027 cost structure. And Rob Cascaden, our Director of Engineering, will take care of that one.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. So through the Mayor to Council. So this is a report summarizing the changes to the recycling, the approach to recycling for ICI properties, which is the industrial, commercial, and institutional properties. So I think everyone's aware that there was a transition period where the responsibility for recycling transitioned from municipalities to the producers. That happened over a period of 3 years earlier, and it had been fully implemented both within our municipality and across Ontario. At the beginning of 2026, so January 1st, 2026, ICI recycling was no longer let's say collecting agencies were no longer able to collect the ICI recycling along with residential. It had to be collected separately. As a result of that, the cost of collecting ICI recycling increased because of additional routes that would have to be run with independent trucks. We're fortunate to be a member of BRA, or Blue Water Recycling. So in 2026, essentially, they kept prices as they were for 2026 to see how things would pan out and how the cost of the separate collection would kind of play out. So they came back to their member municipalities earlier this year, letting us know what the cost for the ICI collection would be in 2027, and looking for direction from member municipalities as to whether or not the member municipalities still want to provide recycling collection services to the ICI properties within the municipalities. So in the past, our recycling costs had been, so prior to the transition, our recycling costs were at no fee to both ICI properties and residential, and we cover those costs through our waste collection fees. Obviously, the municipality has benefited from the removal of the cost on the residential side but we had still been incurring a cost for the ICI properties, which in 2026 is about $71 a property. But that's going to jump to $162 a property in 2027. So what we're seeking direction on is to see what option the council would like to move forward with for funding that in 2027 or not providing it. So one option is to no longer provide recycling collection for any ICI properties at all. And they can reach out to private companies and get that if they wish, or what could very well happen is that some of the recycling materials will just go into the waste stream. Option two is that we provide that service but we will build the full cost, the $162 a year, back to the ICI properties. And there would be no increased effort. We currently invoice them right now. So it would just kind of be a status quo, other than their cost would go up. They would see that on their bills, which already have their waste fees on it. After that, there are different options we could look at, or we have looked at, which is one would be to kind of hold the line as to where it is and still charge them the $71 a year and subsidize them by the municipality paying the difference. So that would be somewhat of an increase in cost, but it would probably promote a better use of the recycling option. Our recommendation is to go with option two, although it is an increase in cost to them at $162 a year. On a monthly basis, that's $13 a month. It's a low cost. I would be shocked if they could get a cheaper option privately. So doing this essentially as a group rate through BRA, I think is probably the most economical and efficient way that it can be offered to them. BRA is prepared to continue to offer that to those properties. So whichever option council would like to move forward with, we would incorporate that into the fees and charges bylaw for 2027, so that the properties can charge the appropriate rates. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you for all the work on that and the presentation. I'll look to councillors for questions. Okay, it's Frank. Frank, if you just leave your green light on while you're asking questions, so if you have a follow-on, I don't have to get you in the queue.
Okay, no problem. Through you, your worship, to Rob. So if I heard correctly, you are recommending option number two. So I think what we're trying to do is continue to encourage these businesses to recycle. I don't know what percentage of the recycling stream they represent. Is it a small amount or not? I think you hit the nail on the head where, when I was in business, if it got expensive, we would just throw it in the garbage. That would happen. And I don't think this is a big dollar amount, so I just want us to encourage it. It's unfortunate this ended up like this. You and I talked about it, probably due to lobbying. This falls out, which is ridiculous. Okay, I don't have anything else. You recommend option two. Okay, thank you. Oops, let's leave that.
And Frank has to turn his off.
Oh, do I?
Thank you. And I have Sue's up next.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. I good report. I agree with your option too. I just was going to comment for the extra $13 a month. Yes, it's $13, but it may be worth a lot more trouble, or as you said, a far more expensive option. And I think that probably these are a lot of small businesses, and that it can just continue to get picked up, and for that few dollars, and nobody has to look after it in other means. And yeah, hopefully it's continue to recycle and not put it in the garbage. So thank you.
Okay, sorry about that, Councillor. Go ahead, Councillor Arts.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Rob. These are probably more along Councillor Burr's sentiments too. Find it highly frustrating that we're going to have a second vehicle running around picking this stuff up. You would think that common sense would have prevailed, and we could have come to whoever is running the show now could have realized it made more sense to have one pickup and then work the numbers accordingly. So maybe the light bulb will go on above us or not. It'd be, I guess that train's passed though, hasn't it?
So through the mayor to Council Arts, I'd say the train has passed for now. That being said, so the producers have their targets that they have to meet. And I think in short, the residential collection is the easy way for them to meet the target. That being said, with time, those targets are likely to ramp up, or that would be the hope. And there are some target increases that are identified within the acts. If those continue to increase at some point, they may have to turn to ICI recycling to try to meet those targets. That would be the hope. And then they would then have to come back and try to bring that back into their fold as part of their responsibility. But that may take several years.
And Councillor Coles is on the virtual screen. When you're ready, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So through you to Rob, I have a couple questions. So I do think option 2 is the best for a user pay principle. And I also think that small businesses will not be able to find an alternative for less than $13 a month. The 2 questions I had for you is, can businesses opt out if they choose a private recycling contractor, or will they still have to pay? And then my second question is, what are our neighbors doing? Do we have any idea about what our neighbors are doing with the BRA? Thank you.
So through the mayor to Councillor Coles, yes, I would say that the property owners can opt out if we go with option 2. If we went with something like option 3, I believe it was, where we continued at no cost to the property owners, then I would expect no one to opt out. But going to option 2, we would give them that option, like you said, at $13 a month. I would be surprised to have them opt out. If they were to choose to not use the recycling and then it go into the waste stream, some would be pushed into a situation where then they have to pay for another waste bin potentially. So it may not be a cheaper option for them anyways. And then regarding other municipalities around us, I have seen, I am aware of a few. I have not checked every single one, but the ones that I have seen so far, they have opted to go with something similar to our option 2, where the full cost will be to the ICI properties.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay, last call. I don't see any hands. I'll just comment on one thing. At AMO on the AMO board, and we have been talking about this for at least 3 years, if not twice as long as that. So there has been a lot of work, and it hasn't been an easy road for all the variables that you mentioned. So change may come. I think the experience will speak louder than arguments that aren't based in numbers. So we'll see what happens. We'll give it a try. So there is a motion before us. The recommendation is that report PWE 28, 2026 regarding ICI recycling transition and 2027 cost structure be received. And further, that council directs staff to implement the fees for the provision of recycling services to industrial, commercial, and institutional properties in the 2027 fees and charges bylaw as recommended by option number 2 below. I'll need a mover, please. Councillor Burrs and Councillor Shipley. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, that's all we have for staff reports. There are no notices of motion today, so we can move to correspondence. These are items that are listed and received in one motion. Council members may request that one or more item be removed for action. So I'll look to see, are there any items here that anyone wishes to speak to or pull out? Okay, in that case, there is a recommendation before us. The items listed under correspondence are received in one motion. Council members may request that one or more items be removed for further action. And the recommendation, we receive all of these for information. Is there a mover? Councillor Cates and Councillor Arts, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, County Council update.
Recently, we haven't had one since the last one.
Right, okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Is there any other business that councillors would like to raise? Nope. Okay, that's everything there then. In that case, we have now an item in closed session. The motion before us is that we have to move into closed session. If I could have a mover and a seconder. We'll read them all out. Okay. The recommendation is that we move into closed session at 9:55 a.m. pursuant to Section 239(2) under the Municipal Act to amend, discuss the following matters. One item pursuant to Section 239(2)F regarding advice subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. And this is the South Winds legal matter. And then item 2 is pursuant to Section 239(2)E regarding litigation or potential litigation. And this is with regard to a bylaw enforcement matter. So a mover, please, Councillor Shipley and Deputy Mayor Brand, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. We'll just wait a moment till we get set up.